Have you ever watched a bird feeder and noticed something that makes absolutely no sense? A bird lands, grabs a seed, examines it for a moment, and then throws it away. Then it throws another away, and another. Before long, perfectly good food is scattered across the ground beneath the feeder. To us, it looks wasteful. It looks messy. It looks like the bird has somehow forgotten the entire purpose of a bird feeder. But what if that's not what's happening at all? What if every seed tossed aside is part of a hidden process that has been guiding birds for millions of years? What if those falling seeds reveal a level of decision-making that most people never notice? Because the truth is surprisingly simple. They're not being messy, they're searching. And once you understand what they're searching for, a common backyard bird feeder begins to look less like a feeding station and more like a window into one of nature's oldest survival strategies. Imagine standing in a wild grassland thousands of years before the first bird feeder was ever invented. There are no trays filled with neatly packaged seed mixes, no humans refilling containers every few days, no guarantee that tomorrow's meal will be easy to find. Every seed must be discovered, evaluated, and chosen carefully. For a small bird, survival depends on making good decisions. A poor choice doesn't just waste time, it wastes energy, and energy is one of the most valuable resources in nature. Unlike humans, birds live remarkably close to the edge. A cold night, a failed feeding attempt, or a few hours without food can have serious consequences. Many small songbirds lose a significant portion of their body weight overnight simply staying warm. Every calorie matters, every meal matters, every decision matters. This is why birds evolved to become expert foragers. When we look at a pile of seeds, we often see a pile of seeds. To a bird, each seed represents a different opportunity. Some contain more fat, some contain more protein. Some are easier to crack open, some are damaged, some are empty shells, some offer a high reward for very little effort. Others aren't worth the energy required to process them. Scientists studying bird feeding behavior have repeatedly observed that many species do not simply eat whatever is available. Instead, they actively sort through options. Chickadees, finches, nuthatches, sparrows, and many other seed-eating birds routinely inspect food before deciding whether to keep it. This behavior is known as selective foraging, and it may explain much of what we see happening at backyard feeders every day. A bird lands and immediately begins searching through the seeds. It picks one up, evaluates it, and rejects it. Then another, then another. To us, the rejected seeds appear wasted. To the bird, those seeds failed in inspection. Think about how humans buy fruit. Imagine standing in a grocery store choosing apples. Most people don't blindly grab the first apple they touch. They examine it. They look for bruises, they compare sizes, they search for the best option available. Birds are doing something remarkably similar, except they often complete the entire process in less than a second. This ability didn't appear by accident. Over countless generations, birds that selected food more efficiently gained an advantage. They spent less energy handling poor food. They obtained more nutrients. They survived difficult conditions more successfully. Eventually, those behaviors became deeply embedded within the species. What looks like a random flick of a beak may actually be the result of millions of years of evolutionary refinement. But seed quality is only part of the mystery. Even when every seed appears perfectly edible, birds may continue throwing food aside. Why? The answer lies in something even older than seed selection itself: the instinct to forage. Most people think feeding and foraging are the same thing. They aren't. Feeding is eating, foraging is searching. In nature, food rarely exists in large, convenient piles. Birds evolved in environments where resources were scattered across forests, grasslands, wetlands, and deserts. Finding food required constant exploration. A bird couldn't assume the first food source it encountered was the best one available. It needed to compare options, assess opportunities, and continually search for something better. Over time, this search behavior became one of the most important survival skills birds possess. Researchers studying animal behavior have discovered something fascinating. Many animals actually prefer opportunities to search for food, even when food is freely available. The act of searching appears to be rewarding on its own. The brain systems that evolved to help animals locate resources remain active even when resources become abundant. Bird feeders create an unusual situation. They provide an enormous concentration of food in one location. But while the environment has changed, the bird's instincts have not. The same brain that evolved to search through fields of wild plants now encounters a feeder overflowing with seeds, yet the ancient program continues to run. Search, compare, evaluate, reject, search again. In a sense, birds treat feeders much like they would treat a natural patch of vegetation. They continue looking for the best available option, even when surrounded by abundance. This helps explain why some birds seem almost obsessed with sorting through food. Watch a chickadee carefully. It often grabs a seed, examines it, and immediately flies away. Sometimes it returns moments later and repeats the process. The bird isn't confused. It's searching for exactly what it wants, and what it wants can change dramatically throughout the year. This brings us to another hidden reason birds throw food out of feeders: nutrition. Birds don't need the same food every day of their lives. Their nutritional requirements constantly change based on season, weather, age, health, and activity levels. During winter, energy-rich foods become extremely valuable. Cold temperatures force birds to burn enormous amounts of calories, simply maintaining body heat. High-fat foods, such as sunflower seeds, become especially important because fat contains more than twice the energy per gram compared to carbohydrates or protein. During migration, the situation becomes even more extreme. Many birds undertake journeys spanning hundreds or even thousands of miles. These migrations require extraordinary amounts of fuel. Before departure, birds often enter a state known as hyperphagia, during which they dramatically increase food consumption and build fat reserves. In some species, body weight can increase substantially in preparation for migration. At these times, certain seeds become far more valuable than others. A bird preparing for migration may actively search for foods that maximize energy intake. Seeds lacking sufficient nutritional value may be ignored even if they are perfectly edible. Then, breeding season arrives. Suddenly, the nutritional equation changes again. Adult birds raising chicks often require increased protein. Growing young birds need nutrients for feathers, muscles, bones, and organs. Egg production creates additional demands, particularly for calcium and other essential nutrients. The same bird that preferred one type of food a few months earlier may now prioritize something entirely different. To a human observer, these changing preferences can appear random. One week, the birds eagerly consume a particular seed. The next week, they seem uninterested. But from the bird's perspective, the decision may be completely logical. The bird isn't simply asking, "Can I eat this?" It's asking, "Is this what I need right now?" And that question changes constantly. Another factor influencing seed rejection is effort. Nature rewards efficiency. Every action a bird performs consumes energy. Flying consumes energy. Searching consumes energy. Cracking open shells consumes energy. Even sitting exposed at a feeder carries risks because predators may be watching. Scientists studying optimal foraging theory have found that animals often maximize energy gained while minimizing energy spent. In simple terms, they try to get the biggest reward for the lowest cost. This means some seeds are more attractive not only because of what they contain, but because of how easy they are to process. Black oil sunflower seeds are a perfect example. They contain large amounts of fat and possess relatively thin shells. Many birds strongly prefer them because the reward is high and the effort required is relatively low. A tougher seed with lower nutritional value may simply not be worth the trouble. As a result, birds sort through available food searching for the best return on investment. Again, what looks like waste is actually decision-making. And the story doesn't end when the seed hits the ground. In fact, a whole second ecosystem begins below the feeder. Most people focus on the birds above. Few notice the community gathering beneath. Juncos patrol the ground, searching for dropped seeds. Mourning doves wait patiently below feeding flocks. Towhees scratch through leaf litter. Squirrels investigate every fallen fragment. Chipmunks collect overlooked treasures. Even insects may eventually benefit from the leftovers. The feeder isn't serving one species. It's supporting an entire network of animals. Ecologists often describe these interactions as resource partitioning. Different species exploit different parts of the same resource. While some birds specialize in feeding directly from feeders, others excel at collecting what falls below. What appears wasteful from one perspective becomes valuable from another. Nature is remarkably efficient at redistributing resources. In many cases, the seeds tossed aside by one bird become essential food for another. The more closely you observe a feeder, the more it resembles a miniature ecosystem rather than a simple feeding station. And perhaps that's what makes this behavior so fascinating. What begins as a mystery about scattered seeds eventually reveals something much larger. It reveals how evolution shapes behavior. It reveals how animals make decisions. It reveals how nutritional needs influence daily life. It reveals how ancient instincts continue operating in modern environments. Most importantly, it reminds us that birds are not passive creatures reacting randomly to their surroundings. They are active problem solvers, constantly evaluating information and adjusting their behavior. The next time you see a bird toss a seed aside, try looking at the moment differently. Instead of seeing waste, see selection. Instead of seeing a messy feeder, see an animal carrying out a survival strategy older than human civilization. That tiny chickadee standing on your feeder is not simply eating lunch. It's evaluating options. It's balancing energy costs against nutritional rewards. It's following instincts refined over millions of years. It's searching for exactly what its body needs. And perhaps that's the most remarkable lesson hidden within a handful of scattered seeds. The natural world is often far more sophisticated than it first appears. Behavior that looks random can be guided by ancient rules. A simple backyard observation can reveal deep evolutionary history. A bird throwing food onto the ground can teach us about nutrition, ecology, decision-making, and survival. So the next time seeds begin raining from your feeder, resist the temptation to think the birds are making a mess. Because they're not being messy. They're searching. And hidden within that search is a story that began millions of years ago, long before bird feeders, long before backyards, and long before humans ever stopped long enough to wonder why the seeds keep falling.